Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Closed Traffic Podcast, an aviation and flight simulation show. I'm Johnny, and I'll be your host this evening, along with, and I got to kind of build up the anticipation because this guy's PC is solely responsible for increasing California's energy usage by 75%. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike. Mike, say hello to people, my man.
He did it to me again, man. He did it to me again. I should have seen this coming. What's going on, everybody?
From a mile away.
Welcome back to the show, man. It's great to, well, we're actually not live, but it's great to get on the mic and shoot the breeze and talk about all things aviation as usual, man. What's going on with you guys?
Man, not a whole lot, brother. Same old. Trying to stay warm in these mean streets, man. We're about to get another cold snap, and they were talking about some snow coming here next week. So, man, I'm telling you, it's strange times we're in, my friends. Strange times we're in. Speaking of cold temperatures, we had to send out a search party for him because he is out in those woods. My man, Mr. Charlie. Charlie, say hello to the people, my man.
Well, what's up? Out in them woods. That's great.
Out in the woods.
Hey, I'm just glad Mike's getting some rain out there to produce more power for that thing.
That would explain why my FPS is up, man. We got all the rain.
That's it. Got a little power boost now.
Extra gerbils, man. Extra gerbils. But got a heck of a show this evening. Had a lot going on, a lot that went on in these past couple of weeks. I definitely want to touch on some events that have transpired in the flight simulation side, but there's also a movie we're gonna provide our thoughts on here, and as well as some other topics. And I know there's been some real world events also transpiring, so we'll unpack all that as we go. But first and foremost, guys, I want to kind of see where you guys been flying lately. Has it been? It's been pretty. I know, Mike. He's been been out and about, but have you had an opportunity at all to kind of see the sim at least a little bit?
So I'll step back since you already preempted this. I did get a new PC. I am, it's a long time in the making, man. I kept putting it off.
CTP clap.
Part of the reason we touched on this back in the summer when we were, one of our shows, and we were just talking about like flight simming in general, and are we bucking up against sort of the peak of it? Personally, for me and a few other folks, I think it was the show we had. What's his name on from FS Elite? The name escapes me now. Callum, thank you, sir. Mm-hmm. We had Callum on from FS Elite, and it coincidentally he just published an article about like flight sim burnout the day we had him on the show. And again, like I mentioned, I was bumping up against some of that for sure. So for a long time, I'm like, does it even make sense to buy a PC? Like, I don't play any sort of other desktop games, so it's not like I could have justified it. But as things started to progress across the flight sim industry with new scenery, new airports, new devs coming on the scene, I was like, man, it's starting to pique my interest, and things are starting to flow again. Let me get into this. And that's when my PC was like, all right, I'm glad you're getting back into this, but I'm not up for the task. So and it's interesting because I didn't have a potato PC, man. I was running a 1080 Ti, 8700K on the processor, 64 gigabytes of RAM. So it wasn't a slouch by any means, but it just goes to show you how quickly, flight sim and some of the platforms that we utilize today has progressed and demands so much more from our hardware. Not to also mention the fact that flight sim across the board is just poorly optimized, but that's another conversation for another day or maybe later today. But yeah, so I was like, I need to get something. I got to get something. So I'm molded over, not into the business of building a PC. We'll talk about that later in the agenda as well. So I was like, I need something that's just ready to go out the box. And, went through, did a little bit of research. I've always loved MSI. My last 3 PCs have been MSI. And I found a good one here, and I've got to go revisit the specs. I would say it's an Aegis RS Tower. It's a 13700K. It's an i7. and it's a RTX 4080. It's got 16 gigabytes of RAM, but I plan on upgrading that. And right now, it doesn't seem like I need the additional RAM at this point in time, but it's always upgradable. I got a 1 terabyte SSD. I've got a 2 terabyte SSD that I brought over from the other rig, and an additional 1 terabyte SSD that I brought over from the other rig. Liquid cool, and all the other very detailed information. I don't know what's pertinent at this time, but yeah, the biggest thing to me right here is the boost in performance overall that I've gotten flying the same damn aircrafts and the same damn sceneries, in the same sort of atmospheric conditions and all the other things that the sim throws at you, and it's just like night and day. And I've got a lot of that stuff not max, but pretty high. A lot of other settings are maxed across both sims that I fly, X-Plane 12 and 2020. But even then, man, I'm still cracking. So I flew the Tolus today, the latest 321 update, and I was maintaining anywhere from 60 to 90 FPS the entire flight from
Jeez.
from on the blocks, getting the airplane ready to go, to on the blocks back at my destination airport, and everything in between. No less than like 60 FPS, man. It was insane. I became some pretty dense areas. I left out of Fort Lauderdale, and I'm running Orbix, Florida, so that's gonna eat you up.
Pretty heavy.
And then I went into Kennedy, and I've got Juricki's New York City X and all the other surrounding New York airports. So, and then Ortho for New York as well. So pretty dense. And then Atolis, it's pretty optimized, but still can get heavy on your hardware at times. And again, man, it was just rocking, and the computer wasn't bringing a sweat. So
dang,
it's well worth it, man. I'm glad I went into it and glad I did it. So long way of saying, what have you been flying? Yeah, so obviously a 321 latest update. The 650. Shout out to Johnny, man. I love the aircraft when it first came out. Damn, what, a year and a half ago now?
Yeah, like a year ago
and
now.
then
yeah,
I parked it for about a year ago now. Yep. I parked it for a bit just because 2020 started to take off, right? And a lot of the things that were coming across that platform. But man, I recently fell in love with it again. And it's been a blast. So I've been flying that a lot. And then obviously in 2020, the Cirrus Vision Jet. I haven't taken out the Honda Jet yet. Like Johnny said, I've been traveling a bit for work here over the last couple of weeks, but I do plan on taking it out soon to try that update that was recently released. And then the Vision Jet got an update while I was gone. And then the PC-12 got an update while I was gone.
Yep.
So it's just been like round robin.
Oh man,
no shortage of aircrafts to fly. So it's a great time for flight sim, man. It really is.
No, man, yeah, there's no lies there. And you brought up a good point, Mike. And it's something that I have come to having to I guess more or less an epiphany, because I've been kind of holding off on on looking to upgrade. But it's there comes a point in time when these softwares that are being released now are leveraging more and more upon the hardware that we have available. And I mean, it's just you get into certain circumstances to where especially if you're in densely populated areas, the aircraft is just running heavy on the textures. And if you're running an older PC with older hardware, even if in its day the PC wasn't a slouch, it still it still leans heavily on the hardware. So I'm just glad you're able to start to I guess kind of reintegrate your passion and get a different different perspective with the additional performance. But sliding over into what's been going on lately here in the industry, which has been a lot, because as you mentioned, Mike, we've had like 3 updates, right? With between the PC-12, the Cirrus Vision Jet, which Mr. Austin kind of killed it for me. But anyway, but old Holly shout out to Austin. The old Honda Jet, which which I actually had the opportunity to try, and it was just amazing. So kudos.
Really?
Oh yeah, man, it's a blast. Like the auto throttle, just completely. It adds a whole another dimension to operating a Honda Jet.
That's promising, man. Because I'll be honest, man, I wasn't. There's no offense to the developers or anyone. I wasn't like blown away by it when it first came out. And I know they've made a little bit of tweaks here and there since, and this was the biggest tweak, and that's good to know. The Vision Jet, by in contrast, blown away since the first day it rolled off the line. So
for sure,
done a heck of a job with that, and continue to do so. But the Honda Jet was like, it was kind of like, I flew it once or twice and was like, parked it. But that's promising. That's good to hear. I can't wait to jump back in it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And now we're getting a couple more sceneries, which I don't know. I've been hearing sketchy things about the Memphis scenery that
oh really? The one you
really? BM, yeah, guys, the BM. What are these folks called? BM World and AmSim.
Sketchy in what way? Like, what's going on?
Well, I've heard things about performance, and I've also heard some things regarding the some of the buildings.
Really?
I mean, Memphis Real World. See, here's my thing. Memphis Real World, if you guys aren't familiar with it, it's not a very picturesque airport to begin with. There's a lot of things around it that's, wow. But, in terms of the terminal area, it's not very picturesque. So, in my humble opinion, I think they did a really good job in capturing the essence, so to speak, for the airport. But like I said, I have heard some things regarding performance, but we all know how the whole performance game goes, guys. I mean, your mileage may vary, so I wouldn't say it would be something there like, well, like, man, I'm gonna sit in the background on this one, right? But definitely something to kind of take a look. And it's $22, so it's like, might be worth the look for sure.
Yeah, terrible.
And which, no, it's not terrible. Which brings me to another point, and this is not so much of a rant. Well, yeah, I guess it is kind of a rant, but as I mentioned, I kind of troll through the forums, right? Yeah. And I know it's just like, wow, have sceneries begun to increase in price? And I'm just thinking, I'm like, wasn't it like in P3D we were paying like $30 for scenery?
Definitely.
I'm just saying.
We definitely
so $22 is not the end of the world for me. Now,
especially for a major international airport.
Yeah.
There you go, Mike. There you go. And that's kind of what I've been seeing, around that 20, but like for the the higher fidelity larger airports, around like the 20-ish range or so. I'm cool with that. Once you start getting like $30-$40, like to be getting like some like Admiral Club benefits or something, to go along with the scenery purchase. So
Admiral Club benefits,
like some Amex Club rewards or something. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it looks amazing. It's available on the Orbix direct store for $32 Australia. It threw me off for a minute. I'm like, whoa, $32 Australian dollars. Yeah. Which is like $22.63 in US. I did not do that mill math. I'm just reading right off the webpage. So check it out, guys. Definitely.
You know what it is?
What's that?
Wait, what forum were you in? Like a 2020 forum, Avism? What was it?
Absim. Yep, Absim.
I kind of always say Avism.
Yeah.
So you have to remember, and I'm not siding with them at all, but I can understand the sticker shock when 2020 first dropped. Like premium developers out
like
there,
$10
like
sceneries. Yeah, I've seen them.
Were dropping like Denver for $14.
Yep.
When they used to throw that thing in for P3D, you paid like $30. Like Flight Beam, Orbix, those sceneries, you always paid $28 or more dollars.
Minimum.
When 2020 first dropped, a lot of these bigger developers set the precedence that a lot of these their sceneries were going to be within the $10 to $15 range, I guess. And
Right.
to their point, I have seen scenery start to creep up for 2020. Any Builds is one. I think they're Newark, they're San Antonio, they're Kennedy, they're Albuquerque, all great sceneries, by the way. This is no knock on the sceneries themselves, but Any Builds is up there, right? If I'm not mistaken, I can't. Let me just throw
yeah,
one
no,
in.
you're right. I think their San Antonio was kind of up there too.
Let's see. Yeah, $20 for LAX. It ain't terrible. Let's see what. And that's now. I don't even know that's a discount. It could have been higher when it first launched.
Right.
Sure it was.
It was higher
Detroit,
for sure.
$20.
$20. KSAT right now is $20. I think they were in like the $25 range. So
I think so too.
To the forum's point, the sceneries in 2020 are slowly starting to creep up. But again, at the end of the day, man, like I'm not going to tell a developer what they should price this scenery for. It's their hard work. It's your choice to buy it or leave it. But I understand the sticker shock when you consider when the sim first launched, big developers out there like Flightbeam and Orbix were throwing out their sceneries for $12, $15. And then you couple that with the fact that we're in this inflationary market, not just in the US, but around the world. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
And I'd say the inflation's got a lot to do with it.
Yeah, exactly. The inflation is not just on the consumers, right? These folks have to pay their devs a little bit higher. So all that stuff gets passed on at the end of the day. Yep. So
absolutely. So no, I mean, all good points there, but again, like I said, $22. I mean, it's like, I mean, either poop or get off the pot, right? So
yeah, here's the other thing with Memphis, and you guys have to keep me honest because you guys know I'm not a cargo ops guy, but like, what solid aircrafts do we have in 2020 to fly to Memphis?
738s all day long.
Yep.
So American, United goes there. 738. I think American has a 738 going there as well.
Oh, you talking about airliners?
Passenger ops, just passenger ops, So I mean, there's opportunity. I mean, basically, I'm going to go ahead and say this. I just say this because I'm like sick of the 738. You could pretty much throw a dart on the United States map and hit a place that 738 goes. I'm just saying. So, I mean, there's a 73. I mean, there's not a 7. There's a CRJ. I think either Embraer goes there. But I mean,
I don't know why I always saw Memphis as predominantly cargo ops
because it is. But I mean, they do still serve a passenger market. So I mean, like for one point in time, it was actually a major hub. So but yeah, so I mean, check it out if that's true. I know a lot of folks were looking at it for a Memphis at one point in time, so it's definitely out there. But one update that actually kind of piqued my interest. I know it's a really abrupt crescendo there, so I apologize. Anyway, but I was actually saw this on the flight going to work, and the company called. Oh man, I'm going to jack this up. I'm going for it, guys. It's going to be full send on this one. Yaman Arrow. Did I get that right?
Yeah. It looks that way. That's the way I pronounce it.
Right. So. They've actually released a compact controller specifically geared towards flight simulation. Guys, thoughts?
Yo, man. Charlie, I'm going to jump in real quick, bro.
Go right ahead, man.
I do not like it.
I'm
going to tell you that right now. It looks ridiculous. It looks like the very first Xbox controller when Xbox first launched.
Yeah.
And like I can't wrap my head around what all these buttons and sticks would do. Like this thing here on the bottom left looks like a trim wheel, perhaps.
Yeah, it has a trim wheel. Now I did read like the images that we're seeing are all.
I'm gonna see if I can share it, guys, on the
I don't think that's going to be the actual product.
Oh, all right. Oh, you know what? Let me get out of FS Elite and actually look at their website. Like, what's the stuff that's coming out of the thing? Like, if you go to their website, they've got like some active images, and it's like the two sticks at the bottom go in and out. Like, what is that? What is that simulating? Is that like the rudder?
Nope, it's actually got linked rudders.
So well, dang, Charlie, do you work for Yaman?
No, man, I'm trying to figure this out. No, I'm watching the video right there. I was like, man, how's this thing going to work?
I see it. It's at the
So you're kind of like your thumbs are kind of like your rudder pedals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I think he had it set up as on the right hand side. The sliders. One was his throttle.
So I can play it, not like crash my PC.
Yeah, play it, man. You might have to skip forward a little bit.
Ammo, okay, yeah, we ain't got time for all that. Let me see here. Okay. I don't know. I could see some Steam Deck action for that one. I don't know.
Yeah, all right.
But I did think like how the rudders were linked. So like if you press right, the left one goes out, or vice versa.
That's pretty cool.
He'll show that in there somewhere.
Let me see here. Really?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So you pull it. Is that for like the mixture and the throttle then?
Yeah, you could set it. It's going to be able to be set up any way you want to do it, I think.
It's funky, man. Don't get me wrong, but hey.
But this is what I thought was cool. Here it is.
There you go. Okay.
It's very dynamic too.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks good. All right. It's starting to warm on me.
Yeah, I can see. I see
Mike sitting on the couch sending 2020.
Not so much as that, guys, because I'm like, for me, like, you know,
I can never fly with a
owning a Steam Deck, I can clearly see like being in a hotel room, especially if you have it docked or something, and firing up the sim. If you just had like, man, I got a sim, if you just had that urge, I can see
that CRJ is what Johnny's saying.
Nah, it's a negative Ghost Rider. Like maybe like a 172 or something like that. Anything more complex than that, I think you're kind of just like in Strugglesville.
Yeah, it won't be the same kind of enjoyment. It's all right. Yeah, it looks weird. But I can see what they were doing. I hope it sells well for them. We'll see.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, I think we need,
they're competing against. I can see it like you said for the Stream Deck. But if they thought this more for console.
I don't know about
against Turtle Beach and all those other guys out there.
Thrustmaster, man, I got that on lock. Yeah.
I don't know.
Heck, I didn't even think about that. Think about that.
Yeah. But I mean, like, again, I think handhelds are, starting to, especially with the cloud gaming movement, or a lot of folks are pivoting towards that direction. So, I can clearly see that being something being utilized in that regard. But yeah, like if you got an Xbox or something like that, like my son, he has the Thrustmaster. It's like the flight stick and the throttle combo, whatever. I mean, that's that works great. So I don't know. Again, I hope it works out. Till to Mike's point, I hope it works out well for him. And I don't know. I think I'll be watching that one for sure. And but speaking of consoles, I saw that PMDG released the 737 for the marketplace. Charlie, you want to take the floor on that one?
Man, I'm about PMDG'd out. I'm still waiting on the 900 though. I want the 900.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
It wasn't already. I thought PMDG was already on the Xbox marketplace for console.
Nah, man. I think they were trying to work on it or get it together. Whatever, man.
But here's my thing. Why the 7? Why not the 8?
Because that's how they roll, bro. They want you to buy the 7 first, just like they did to us on PC. They want you to buy the 7 first.
But did y'all notice
8 later?
Did y'all notice that there are still some functionalities that are available on the 700 that are not available on the 8? I.e., the ability to import your flight plans into the FMC.
That is available on the 8.
I can't.
You got to set up a separate folder.
You have to separate.
Like, what I'm saying? Like going in there, like from the FMC and like clicking on the
the CO route.
Yeah,
I do that all the time.
Well, man, shut me up. Yeah,
you need to.
You have to go into the downloader and set up a separate folder.
It's a complete. It's kind of annoying, but
it's kind of dumb. So like I've got 4 folders, one for each
PMDG.
Yep.
Each iteration of the 7.3.
Yep.
Wow,
it's
that's extra.
ridiculous.
Okay.
Like, why would they
It is.
not put that thing in? You know, and that reminds me, I need to set up because I'm on a new PC. SimBrief downloader for that. Thank you, Johnny.
Yeah. Got you, man. Yeah. Yeah. Shut me up then. All right. Cool. So, remind me after the show. Yeah, remind me of the show. Get with you on that, Charlie. Figure out how to do that, man. And I don't think I'll be flying 737 anytime soon because I've literally just like
I just linked it to the 8.
Yeah.
To your point, yeah.
Yeah. So. But yeah, anywho,
you can't get out of that 650 long enough to fly anything.
Man,
I know, right?
Bro,
man, you guys don't understand how this guy. I'm telling you, man. Someone needs to cut Johnny a check for that 650.
Hot start,
man.
Y'all need to pay your boy.
Man, let me tell you guys, because there's nothing else that really tickles my fantasy. Like fidelity, again, I'm 7-3'd out, between the Zebo, between the PMDG. I'm just over it, man. And then Airbus, it's like
heck, now he can work on it. He can go in there and disconnect the batteries and play.
Yeah, now
it's unreal what they're doing.
That entire experience, bro, is like I can't describe it, man. It just does something to you, man. Like you walking into the FBO, you ordering your fuel and the other items that you need for the flight, you walking out to the airplane, doing a proper walk around, pulling the pins, opening the door, walking into the cabin, making sure everything is ready for the passengers. Like that simulates corporate life, man. Like it's
life, bro.
And we talk about it every show. Exactly.
Every show.
I try not to, man.
No, but like that's how good it is, man. It's an entire additional level of experience that, like, as much as I love the bigger airliners in the sim, especially you guys know me and my Airbuses, you don't get that same feeling, man.
Yeah, it just hits different, man. And now with the battery disconnect feature, so what they're trying to do, or the aim behind that, is if you don't use the 650 after an extended period of time, i.e. a week, the batteries will drain if they're not disconnected. So crazy. if they're not, I don't think the functionality is all the way in there yet, but the animation is. So you can open up the little avionics compartment and unscrew the battery, and there's actually a YouTube video floating around to where, there's a real world 650 driver, Victory AJ, shout out to Victory in his videos. You can actually go and walk up and see him do it on the real airplane. So it is indeed a thing. And I'm like, dang, because I felt some type of way. So I flew to, where did I go? I think it was like Minneapolis. And it was like the evening before I was supposed to catch a flight for work. And I forgot to cover my pitot tubes and the air data port. And I was like, oh man, we're having issues, whatever. Thankfully, there was a beta update that dropped. So I just, wiped that whole airframe.
Wiped the whole thing out, bro.
Right? So
man, it would have simulated something wrong with the pitot tube.
I think if
maybe after a certain period of time.
I think the only thing that would happen is if it was like icing conditions, perhaps. I think it maybe an ice up, but I don't think anything would like happen. I don't think that functionality is in yet. But I do remember, if I'm not mistaken, the TBM 900 did. Like if you left them off,
really,
yeah, like there would be some shenanigans behind. Like you would have to like just double check to make sure you have pitot static functionality. Yeah,
that's interesting, man. Because like most of the airplanes on the ramp at the club, they don't have pitot tubes.
They don't
pitot tubes.
They don't.
Man, that'd be bad.
They don't. And but truth be told, like I know, and Mike, you can attest to this as well. Unless it's sitting for a really long time. I mean, most of them covers sit in the back, man. Like they really don't put them on.
They really put them on. I think like the newer ones, we try to keep them on. But like, some of the older ones, I can't remember the last time we had a pitot tube on those, pitot tube cover on those.
Right. But do y'all have like a wasp or dirt daubers real bad over there?
No, that's the other thing. We're not in extreme temperatures or extreme weather conditions like a lot of the other areas in the country.
Yeah, they're pretty rampant here too. And then we have the small ones, so a lot of times you really won't see like the nest. They'll actually go in there and build it. And so I have seen that where that's actually become a thing, but again,
we always look because you never know. We
because
always
you never know.
Well, I've yet to see one.
Yeah. So it's definitely, especially like the wash down here. Well, I know they get my boat all the time, but I actually have to cover up my bilge pump intake and all that.
Wow.
So yeah, man. I've had weed eaters get dirt daubers in them and wouldn't crank.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, they built. Yeah, they built.
Any little... sitting there trying to crank that thing. It's like, I just used this the other day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like any little orifice
look in the
or
exhaust tube and it'd be packed full of dirt and pull it out.
Full of dirt.
You're ready to go.
Yep. So I mean, it's things. Man, I can't stand them either. And it's about that time. Man, it seems like winter freaking just came and freaking went.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Don't say animals. It. No, I'm gonna say it. All the freaking animals are starting to come out the woodworks now, and now
already.
Oh man, it's getting there. I mean, it's getting. I think it's
probably going to get like here.
Yeah, you know, so we're gonna get like maybe a cold snap or something here and there, and then it's back
out. Yeah, I was looking because I'm in your neck of the woods, Charlie, in about 2 weeks, man. You guys got some mild temperatures coming
man.
Up.
Yeah, you got
finally,
you got lucky, man.
Finally.
Yeah, finally. You know, but
that's not bad.
It's a pain in the butt, man, dealing with animals in that cold like this.
Oh my Lord, yeah.
Shout out to them people up north. Good Lord.
Man, I don't want to hear nothing about up north, man. I really don't. Really don't, man.
My man Johnny
working an hour just to get in the car.
Man, I opened up the curtain, slid the curtain back at the hotel, man, and saw everything was just like
man,
white,
you sent me that, bro, and I was cold.
At first, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I'm thinking Christmas Story type feeling right there. But then like immediately I'm like, nah, man, I gotta
go out in that.
And so yeah, man, like cranking up the car, you know, shout out to all-wheel drive and you know, but they're set up for that up there. So I was at you know, I'm talking to the audience. So so I went I was up to at Minneapolis for work, right? So no, they've been getting a little bit of snow lately, and you know, but yeah, like, you know, the hardest part was, you know, because even in your rental car, they give you a little scraper thing. So you just kind of, you know, you scrape it off and, you know.
I was wondering if they gave you that or Johnny had to go down to the Dollar General and get him one.
Wow.
Dollar General. Man, yeah, they had the little brush and you brush it off, man. It was still kind of powdery. And, you know, again, they're all set up. You know, I mean, I'm sure there are plows out like 2 a.m, you know, so by the time you wake up or whatever and get out, I mean, roads are fine. It's just, you know, like, dang, you know, but, you know.
Done with that life, bro.
Then Minneapolis, you know, MSP, man, the airport, they're getting it as usual, man. They're, you know, like I said,
nothing for them.
Yeah, that's nothing
missing
for them.
A beat.
Not missing a beat, man. So it was actually pretty cool to see, man. I know those anti-ice systems were definitely getting to work. And I think the next week, if I go back, I think next week they're getting like another wave of cold weather. So yeah, so I
don't see how they deal with it.
I can't do it, man.
Man, they all come to Texas. That's why.
Yeah,
is it Minneapolis that has like the tunnels in downtown because it's too cold for people to walk outside? Or am I thinking of another city?
Is it New York?
Nah, bro. Walking outside.
Hey, I've been there, man. It's like a wind tunnel.
Got no tunnels out there, bro. That's a city, man, in the Midwest.
Which one is it?
Or is it? I'm pretty sure it was.
It might be Minnie.
I think it's Minnie, bro.
Now I'm gonna have to look for it, man, because I already got to go to the Prince Museum.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, check that out, man. But yeah, it was you know, it's pretty interesting. I mean, as far as like airport ops, because you know, I mean, this is an aviation and flight simulation show, right? So
yeah, it's Minneapolis. You know, sorry, I didn't even cut you off. It's the Minneapolis Skyway system.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
Okay,
I don't know where you're based at every week up there, but
it's like
if you're in the downtown area, bro, like they've got those.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that. I'm gonna have to check that out, man. But as far as like the airport ops around there, man, yeah, it was like business as usual. It was nice to see, you know, because you know it's like Delta land up there, so it was nice to see some 220s floating around there. There's a couple of 220s, and
I've yet to
saw a few jumbo jets. Man, it's an experience.
I heard it's like one of the smoothest airline rides you can have.
My Lord, yes. even because I was in economy, man, and like even then it was just
nice.
Like for like some aircraft's first class seats. Yeah, there was like
really.
Oh man,
Wow.
just amazing. Amazing.
Cool.
So I ain't gonna lie, man. I actually thought about like, just working on my stats for Delta, like just for that, but I end up kind of like, doing myself
keep
in
those American points going, bro.
But yeah, man, America for the win, other than that 738. Anywho, I digress. So Dritsky Design just also looks like they posted an update for Newark.
Liberty. I downloaded it like 10 minutes ago while we were in here. I've had Newark since day one. I just updated it while we were sitting here.
Really? Dang. Yeah, I hadn't checked it out, man. I
haven't gotten it yet,
parts, man.
Yeah, you don't, bro. That's not Johnny's cup of tea. I don't even
get it, man. And it's
Johnny,
not like
when's the last time you flew to New York in general, bro? He doesn't
probably back in P3D.
I can't.
In my defense,
I'm trying to think. I can't remember the last time Johnny flew to New York, and the New York area in general. Florida, I don't see you touch. Like my man is in the Midwest heavy, bro. Nowhere else.
In my defense, let me pull out my 650 logs here. I did hit up Teterboro like 4 weeks ago, and I hit up Northwest Florida in the 650 today. That scenery I sent y'all in the chat. Yeah, y'all ain't checked that yet. Yeah, I sent it there. And
check that. He trying to sneak that in there. Bro. I got so many Florida CDs, bro. I don't need another one, man. I got to get down to Pensy. I didn't know you went to. Are you running scenery for Teterboro?
Yeah, no. That's default. Have you seen the default for Teterboro?
Nah, I've been running Jawicki.
Really?
Jawicki's Teterboro is sick, bro. And X-Plane?
For X-Plane? Really?
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Dang, I'm going to check that out.
Especially you doing 650 ops. The FBOs are on point.
What?
You got to check it out, bro.
Damn,
they have all the FBOs, all the proper parking and everything that's going on there. It's nice.
Dang, yeah, I gotta check that out for sure. Yeah, I'll pick up Newark at some point, man. I just
don't even bother, bro, because I know you.
No,
you gonna spend money on it and go there like it's just like me.
Buy that Memphis first.
Yeah, you do Memphis.
I don't know about Memphis.
I haven't picked up Syracuse, Buffalo.
Again, I did pick up
Buffalo. I don't go to those parts. I rarely fly those areas. You picked up Buffalo? Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I picked up.
Oh, Baltimore. Did you pick up Baltimore?
No, I've been wanting to. I've been wanting to pick up Baltimore.
Too, man.
Is it? I just hadn't checked it out. And it's not so much, it's like I don't care for the area. There's just so much to explore in the sim. Like we're getting sceneries that in areas that we've never got sceneries at. Like
I get it, bro. For sure.
Nashville, is coming. Then we're getting, we got a Kansas City that's pretty decent.
Kansas City for 2020 is out. Oh yeah, I have that.
Yeah, that's how. Tulsa.
Yeah, it's Tropical Sim. I have that. I picked that up.
Yep, Tulsa. Then you got Cleveland. It's another airport up.
What's
around
the ones in Georgia
Indy?
You were dropping? Peachtree. Was it Peachtree you were dropping in the chat last week?
No, it was Middle Georgia.
Yeah, Middle Georgia. Yep.
And then there's
that one looked good.
There's an Augusta one too.
Yeah, Augusta. You sent
that.
I forgot which one it was. Looked better. I think it was Augusta. I can't remember. The one that you had the red like FBO. You parked like right in front of the FBO.
Yeah.
That one looks cool. I got to pick that one
up. Was that me?
Was that Augusta, Mike? So you can be at the Masters this year.
Oh, that was Hilton Head. I think that was Hilton Head.
Hilton Head. It was Hilton Head. That's South Carolina.
Yeah, that was Hilton Head.
That was Georgia. It's close to Georgia. It's right there.
Close enough, yeah.
It's close.
Yeah, it's pretty close. So I mean, it's just so much, man. Until it's on my list because his sceneries are just absolutely amazing. I ain't been to Boston in a minute, man. I need to swing back up to Boston. Yeah.
Logan's cool. I've got Bradley too. I like going into Bradley like when there's a big VATSIM Logan event.
Yeah,
it's less traffic to the south to go into Bradley.
To the south. Yeah,
Bradley scenery is really nice. I forgot who makes that. I think it's Flight Beam.
Who was it? Was it Fly Tampa?
No, it's Flight Tampa makes Logan.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Bradley, I think, is on this. Oh, it's Latin VFR.
Latin VFR.
That
Man,
was really nice.
What do y'all think, Mike? I guess it's a question more geared towards Mike because I think I know what Charlie's going to say. So, with Latin VFR making the pivot more towards, or I guess well, what's your thoughts on it, man?
Man, like I mentioned earlier, bro, I'm never going to tell a developer or suggest to a developer what market they should be in, where they shouldn't be, and how they should price their products. Like you mentioned the other day and time again, especially in this 2020 platform, you put something with wheels and wings on it, it's going to sell. So, you know, just because of the newness that 2020 has been able to conjure up to bring a lot of different folks to the platform and just flight sim in general that quite frankly, A, don't know any better, and B, just don't care. Honestly, I think it's the former and not the latter. But, you know, and I think some of the developers out there are taking advantage of that because they know that would never fly in X-Plane and that would never fly in P3D. So, you know, they had the opportunity, they saw the opportunity, and they took it. So, to each their own. I won't lie. I picked up the 321 from Latin VFR, the 321 Neo, because we had no 321 at all, at least a decent one in 2020. And definitely not a Neo. So that's why I picked it up, and it was no offense to them. It wasn't it, bro. It wasn't it. However, like so many things we've seen in 2020, so many things we've seen in 2020, here comes a freeware developer to save the day to make someone else's product a lot more manageable and flyable. So there was a developer, I think with the permission of the fly-by-wire folks, that merged the thing together. So you get all the features and functionality and sounds from the fly-by-wire 320 in Latin VFR's 321 Neo.
Cool.
But I don't mess with it. I flew it a couple times and parked it, especially now that I'm back in X-Plane. Tolas gives me what I need for it. Here we go. You guys good, man? You good?
I don't need to explain.
Exactly. Man, bump X-Plane.
Man, bump it. I got 20 in that Phoenix.
Man, we're focused, man.
That sounds just like me too. That's the sad part.
But no, man, it's
setting that Tolas. So yeah, to answer your question, I think it's fine. I don't love it.
Yeah,
you know, I don't love it for the as core enthusiasts for the platforms like we are and a lot of other people are. I don't love it, but I think it fills a need for everyone else. So that's fine.
Absolutely.
What do you want, Mike? What's on Mike's number one list?
For which platform?
Scenery.
Scenery in any platform? Yeah. Oh gosh, can we get an Ontario, bro?
Ontario?
Like, man.
I figured Kennedy for 2020.
That would be nice. 2020 is, you're right. It's kind of, I don't know. Again, maybe I need to check my install or something, but the 2020 scenery that they, I guess, handcrafted is funny, right? Okay, so I thought it was mine. I thought it was just mine. Yeah, see, to Charlie's point, I want a decent Kennedy. And X-Plane too. I don't know why no one touches it for whatever reason. But yeah, next to that, Ontario.
Yeah.
But I know that's coming. Sure. That's gonna be amazing by my man
Vertical.
Damn, I keep Vertical, yeah.
So
that's gonna be cool. But yeah, Charlie, you bring up a good point, man. Not to jump back on that soapbox, but like, no one touches Kennedy,
bro. I don't know why.
We haven't had a good JFK scenery in years.
I don't know why. We're just now getting folks finally touching Jacksonville. There's a they got sent y'all that.
I saw that.
Yeah,
but I see it. I get it, bro. But you can't put Jacksonville on the same level as Kennedy. Like when I think about major airports in the United States, bro, Chicago, LAX, Atlanta, Kennedy. I throw Dallas in there, DFW.
Man,
Miami. And Miami. So that's 6. And we've got over the years and even up to date great sceneries for all 6 of them. DFW, I think that's handcrafted and it's better.
It's better, man, but like there's like
but
no
it
bridges.
Still needs work. So like Kennedy and DFW, when you consider the major airports in the US, like we need these developers. And I'm going back on my word because I just said I wouldn't tell a developer what they should develop and what they should. But I'm asking.
I'm going to tell you what you should.
I'm asking exactly. I'm asking, like, can we get a how do you say, a very detailed scene? I'll pay $40 for it, bro. I don't care. For Dallas and Kennedy, man.
Yeah,
we need those.
I can see that. And but in their defense,
he pay 80 for Ontario.
I wouldn't even say. I wouldn't even say it like in their defense, really. But I think one of the main reasons why no one touches it is, I'm thinking, is due to its scale.
Bro, because, they make big. They mess with bigger airports, though.
I know, fam. But a lot of those, if you think, a lot of those developers who have done those bigger airports, they've done them before in other iteration and other platforms.
Good point.
So because you gotta think, fam, either they gotta have somebody over there or they gotta fly folks over there.
Yeah,
to go and get picked. I mean, if you're gonna do it legit, now you can probably go do what some of these folks do. I ain't about to name no names, but they'll hit up old Google Maps and be like, hey, let me just get this facade or whatever. And and then just throw some stuff there. But to truly do like from like, I'm not experienced in scenery development, I'm just be honest with you, I'm just talking a lot of crap. But to truly like really,
honest.
Yeah, like really, do it. Like the majority of majority of scenery developers, they take a field trip and they're taking pictures, they're working with the airport authorities, they're doing their due diligence, right?
That's a really good point.
Again, that's just me assuming. And I'm thinking, a lot of developers are so involved with other projects or bringing past airports over to 2020 until right now their roadmap is so far out, they're not even thinking about, anything on the scale of JFK.
Right.
But I would love to see one too, because in the one-off time a year when I decide to go to New York, to a decent rendition of JFK.
Man, that's my favorite route in all the flight sim, bro. Is that
I know it because you fly it all the time, real world, right?
Exactly, because I fly it all the time, real world. LAX, JFK, LAX, man, and you get to LAX in any scenery right now, and it's like bang on, bro, bang on. And then, LAX in any sim scenery wise, bang on. And Kennedy, bro, like X-Plane 11, I'm flying like this. 2012 rendition of Droicky's Kennedy. Right. Jetways don't even move. And then in 2020, like you said, and like we've observed, it's all jacked up, bro. I got taxis running on top of the roof.
Oh man,
the parking, the gates, like anytime you load into the sim, the aircraft is sideways on the gate. Like it's terrible.
Yep.
It's terrible.
Yep. That's like me and MSP, because I've been flying to Minneapolis a lot, and it's like, wow, it'd be kind of nice to fly Minneapolis. Now, I will say the default
flight beam should be
right.
Oh, an X-Plane.
Yeah, an X-Plane. But flight beam, I don't think flight beam has brought theirs over yet to 2020.
No. Yeah.
So, and even, so it's kind of, it's like, dang, I can't do, now I could do it in X-Plane, but I can't do it in 2020, so.
Yeah.
It kind of bugs me, but, it's coming, it's just.
Who makes MSP and X-Plane? Because that scenery is banging too.
Somebody did it, man. It was back in the
I have it. I know I have it. I just need to go look.
But I was just kind of cruising while you were chatting, man, and I saw somebody did a Brownsville South Padre Island International for X-Plane 12, and my lord,
it looks good, man.
Really,
looks pretty daggum good. Yeah, it's a chat. Just I know you can care less about Brownsville, Mike, but just kind of.
Let me look. I'll take it real quick. What the hell is this? Where is Brownsville?
It's like South Texas.
Oh, Cameron County, Texas.
Yeah.
Johnny gonna send it 6:50 here tomorrow, bro.
Yeah,
5 a.m.
bro.
5 a.m., bro. Sun barely coming up. He's gonna be off those blocks, bro.
Call time 4 o'clock.
Call time 4 o'clock downstairs at the lobby. 4:15, bro. Coffee brewed and locked in, going,
bro.
At the Scottish Inn.
At the Scottish Inn, man. Roaches and all, man. Yeah, bro. Yeah,
looks
for
good. I like
Freebird.
that. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that's not bad,
Sounds
man. See,
quality. That's where X-Plane shines, bro.
that's where it shines, man. And then like you look at like the wet,
Yeah,
runways,
especially with
and
12 inch
oh
rims.
man, because it
Be
was like
fun, man.
I was landing in Northwest in Florida today, and you're hitting patches of rain, man, and the wet and the runway is kind of semi-wet. With an 11-knot crosswind coming straight
Oh
across,
yeah,
man. The
in X-Plane
correction,
12.
yeah, the main. You kind of see the main
Ooh.
sliding a little bit. Oh, takes you out, man. I'm sorry, you ain't getting it. Not yet. You ain't got that
Not
swing.
yet in
Not
2020.
yet.
Not yet, bro.
Not yet,
Not
man. It just
yet.
hits different, bro. I'm
It
not saying
does.
X Plane 12 and everybody's like, oh, we're on this bandwagon again. Oh my gosh, CTB. No,
No,
we're not. No,
you're
we're not.
right. You're
We're
right.
not getting negative. I'm just saying that for a lack of better terms, it just hits different. That's all I'm saying.
I explained to you guys that day. I think it was probably
saying.
my last flight before I left for my trip, bro. But I was coming in, man, in Miami in a 321 Neo and hitting that base to final turn, bro, and hearing those engines spool up to keep that angle of attack. Whew.
Yep.
Spot on, man. Bro. Spot on.
Just different, man. So it's pretty cool. But now here's one. I didn't mean to kind of go off into the weeds here, but so I saw this at the hotel and I kind of kept scrolling because I was like, yeah, I don't know, whatever. But this kind of piqued my interest. So VATSIM announced that they've become a non-profit. Have y'all seen that?
I did. Yep. Saw it in my hotel too.
Yeah.
I didn't get to dive into it though.
Yeah. What are y'all thoughts on that? I mean, how y'all?
I think that's awesome.
Really...
Network's been around for 20 years, bro. And when you compare it to other platforms out there like Pilot Edge that I love, those guys get paid, and it's it's a platform that unfortunately it doesn't cover the entire US.
Mm-hmm.
And again, sort of like when you think about Pilot Edge and sort of the mission and sort of why you get into Pilot Edge, it's just it's also for fun, but also like for those that are pursuing a rating or whatever it is, especially from scratch, you get to get on that radio and practice your radio work. And it's helped a ton of people, including myself. And no matter where you are, right, for the most part, it's the same. So it shouldn't matter too much that they're not in your coverage area. That being said, you're still paying for that. And we all know there's nothing like flying over your hometown or within your hometown, bro. VATSIM allows you to do that anywhere in the world because they've got coverage pretty much everywhere in the world. Is everyone on all the time is a different story, but they've got coverage pretty much anywhere in the world, and it's been free for 20 plus years. So I see no problem with that at all.
20 plus years.
Like I can't even
absolutely.
How they've been able to keep these servers going for so long,
right?
And then not to mention in 2020, remember they did that massive upgrade to really bring out the realism as it relates to how the radios are supposed to function, how they hear, how you're supposed to sound, etc. Again, didn't charge a penny for it, so
absolutely
kudos to them, man.
Absolutely. But do you think that's coming with this?
With what? Oh, them charging after? I don't think so.
But here's the thing: if you use it all the time, I mean, why not?
I wouldn't mind.
$5.
I wouldn't mind because when you guys think about it, if we can,
somebody's got to pay for it.
If we can somehow quantify the amount of pilots that platform has made, how much money, folks have perhaps saved, during their training by participating in, some events that was held in VATSIM. As truth be told, I'm not gonna lie, man. There's some controllers on there that
bro, not missing a beat.
Not missing a beat, and a lot of them are probably not even old enough to drive. And you know who I'm talking about. But just, man, they hit calls, man, better than some folks I've heard real well.
Exactly.
Just amazing radio work. So I'm with you guys. I wouldn't I wouldn't feel bad at all. You know, a little recurring fee or whatever. You
$5,
know, hey,
$10 for sure,
whatever.
man.
Yeah, man. Hey, send it. You
I
know, so
just looked at
you
my
know,
VAT
and
stats. I'm running what 4,900 hours on VATSIM, bro.
my lord, man,
For
that
Dang.
they ain't like your
lifetime.
check airman fan. I start calling you chief, bro.
I've got 4,900 on VAT, 4,900 hours on VATSIM, bro. So I will say it's I've well used that thing, bro.
That's
Absolutely.
crazy. 5,000 hours.
Absolutely. Yeah, I haven't checked mine yet, but I'm pretty sure it's
Let's go
some
to VAT stats.
bat stats. I'm pretty sure it's
Mhm.
some asinine number. Pretty sure, pretty sure it's some asinine number. But speaking of asinine, so Mike, did your was your flight delayed during the whole NOTAM outage?
No, I left the 4 days after that, remember?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Was
That's
yours?
right. So the flight
He
that
said,
I took
speaking of
that
asinine, they went to the FAA for a NOTAM delay.
man, because it was
Oh,
just
man.
like,
They about to pull your
you
ticket,
know,
bro. You better.
hey, bro, you know it is what it is, fam. It just need to be said. But you know,
It
that's what
just
just
need to
what
be said.
bugs me, man. You know, things happen, right? And I've worked for government entities, and so I kind of know how that thing goes. But one would assume that you know the the technologies that some that are utilized by some government authorities that I will say are for lack of better terms antiquated,
Hmm.
and you know you would assume that maybe we would have kind of seen this, or maybe there was something preemptively that could have been done to minimize the impact on the national airspace system. I'm just saying, guys, because there were some folks that didn't get to work that day
Yeah.
Bro.
because of that. And I think my question, we just so happened to have FAA representative on the CTP, and they were so graciously to spend time to speak with us. um, what measures what measures have been taken to prevent something like that from happening in the future.
Hmm.
Um, just has
No,
a feller wondering.
it was something, bro. I remember I woke up, bro. Alexa said something about I was barely, coming to.
Right.
And like I honestly, bro, like I tried. There has been the last several years, man, a lot of negative, just stuff in the news, bro. To be honest,
Right.
that I don't even pay attention to it too closely. But that perked
Right.
my ears up. I'm like, the notems are down. What? How does that even happen? And I got into it and I started getting all the alerts and stuff about it. And I'm just like, this ain't good. And to your point, it's the first thing I thought about. I was like, man, like this is a governmental agency that, you know, utilizes systems that are relied on across the
Mhm.
country and even the
Country, if not world.
world, right? Because you gotta
The
remember the
world,
aircrafts
Craig.
coming in and out of the US that rely on those very same NOTAMs, the world,
Right.
Craig. How did we get that messed up, man? And to your point, like how did we not see this coming? And it kind of dovetails into the whole, and I hate to bring this back up, Southwest thing is like, man, that we've got to do a better job overall at just like, finding ways to take preemptive measures to, mitigate some of the risk that we continue to see develop into actual issues um, in aviation. And speaking of issues in aviation, we'll finish this topic, but I definitely want to go on to something else because it happened while I was
Mhm.
freaking there. But yeah, it's crazy. It's funny, man. Like I was watching the memes across some of the the pilot groups that I'm a part of.
Real, bro. Yeah,
it was insane. Like one of them was like, "Who pulled the plug, bro? Like who pulled the plug out?" Another one
who didn't
was
pay
like,
the power bill?
When you hit Control Alt Delete too soon. And then the other one for the pilots was like, the nodems were down.
Hey man, the Control Alt,
like, right? Like, do you actually read them things to be
right?
that you're supposed to read them? Well, I'm guilty of it. I won't lie, bro.
Hey man,
Crane, light fixture,
crane activity, lights.
Yeah.
And half of those nodems on there have been on there for like decades anyway. So
bro, years.
That same crane's been there for like 8 years, bro. So it's like, all right, they ain't changed, right?
But Disney World hasn't moved.
Exactly, right? But speaking on the Control Alt Delete thing, I don't think that was too far from the truth because apparently, and this is coming from the FAA. Let me clear my throat. So a preliminary FAA review of last week's outage of the notice to air missions or NOTAM system determined that that contract. You notice how I put it on the contract, folks. We just not going to take no responsibility anyway. Determined that contract personnel unintentionally deleted files while working to correct synchronization between the live primary database and the backup database. The agency has so far found no evidence of a cyber attack or malicious intent. The FAA continues to investigate the circumstances surrounding the outage. The FAA made the necessary repairs to the system and has taken necessary steps to make the NOTAM system more resilient. Probably fired the guys. The agency is acting quickly to adopt any other lessons learned in our efforts to ensure robustness of the nation's airspace system. Shout out to the press person on that one, man.
I was gonna say someone gets paid the big bucks to write that shit.
Big bucks, bro. Holy smokes, man. So long story short, contractor screwed up. They probably ended their contract a little early. And I'm pray that happen again. Got it. All right, moving on. But yeah. So, that's funny. It's funny. But yeah, Mike. No, you said we were going to segue into something else.
I've got to bring this up, man. Let me. I got to figure out how to share my screen here. Once I share my screen, you guys will know where I'm going with this.
Let me download the South Padre Island while you're doing that, man, so I can have this thing ready in the morning.
Listen, you heard him.
So I know. I'm telling you, bro. That boy's gonna be gone 5 a.m.
He's gonna be in South Texas before I even get up.
Before I get up, bro, he's gonna be like, "I'm flying back."
And heck, I'm an hour ahead of him.
About to turn, bro.
Where's that 650 at? Is it still in Florida?
No, yeah, it's at where's? It's still in Northwest. Yes.
You gotta fly over.
Just shoot across the Gulf.
Bump it, man. Send it, bro. Full send in the morning.
So, I've got a Kennedy taxi diagram up here. You guys want to take a gander as to why?
Oh Lord!
Wow.
No guesses.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Because we had some shenanigans with a couple of airplanes, didn't we?
We sure did, man. So I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, audience here, of course, or have heard, I should say. There was a near miss due to a runway incursion at Kennedy Airport, man, last week. And it's crazy because, I literally got in like an hour before this happened.
Wow.
But
really? It was that close?
Bro. Yes, sir. There dozens of flight that leaves Kennedy and come into Kennedy in an hour. So the chances of it being one of my flight being in the incident is slim, but still it's just crazy like how that could happen to anyone. Anyway, so there was and I'm doing this off the top of my head. We'll obviously post all of the things that we talk about today, like we always do in the description of our podcast here, but make sure I get the facts right. But if off the top of my head, there was an American 777 that was given taxi instructions to 4 left. Kennedy was in E-stops that day, so departing 4 left, landing 4 right. I didn't get to hear the actual audio of the taxi instructions, just the runway incursion and the rejection and everything else that subsequently happened after the fact. So Delta was taking off, and the American 777 was coming down here, taxiing the 4 left for takeoff. They inadvertently crossed 4 left at Juliet instead of making that right turn at either Kilo Echo or Kilo to line up or get in sequence for 4 left, while a Delta, I don't know if it was a 737 or a Airbus, whatever it might have been, was taking off. Guys, they literally came within 1,000 feet of each other.
Man,
it was nuts. Like,
wow,
insane. It's a good thing Delta was paying attention. Air traffic controller was yelling reject when they saw it happen, but I think Delta obviously had already noticed that. And that American 777 had no business being over there. But I say that to say, like, man, taxiing at some of these major airports across the country or just in general is a job, bro. Yes. And we're talking about experienced pilots here. I mean, you don't get in the 777 for a major airline like American without thousands and thousands of hours.
Exactly.
Let's get that straight, first of all. And they made that mistake. And I've been here, obviously flying in and out as a passenger, more times than I can count throughout the years, it being my hometown airport and all. But like, in the sim, I've been given this instruction many a time. So if I remember off the top of my head, I think American is here, Terminal 8. JetBlue's over here, Terminal 5. So American's over here. So they come over here. They either given Alpha or Bravo all the way here. And again, they usually cross them at Kilo Echo or Kilo. It's so easy to get screwed up because you've got 3-1 left. You've got 4 left intersecting here. And it's so easy to get turned around in this cluster.
Right.
Like, I think they need to figure something out to make this a little bit more digestible. Like, and the taxi diagram doesn't even do it justice. When you're there taxiing
and getting taxi instructions,
and getting taxi instructions and everything else that goes on, with the operations of a major airliner flight at a major airport like this, it's crazy. Like, it looks so much more confusing in person than it actually does on the taxi diagram. Because I've done it. You've got Lima. Look at this. Lima, Alpha Golf, Foxtrot, Bravo, Kilo Echo, Kilo Delta, Alpha Bravo, Kilo.
Hey man, CPDL, see me that, bro. Hey, right? Yeah, just text me that, bro.
It's insane. Like, this gets people all the time. Also at Kennedy is when they're given that 1-3 right instruction to come down here, because you've got Papa, then you've got Quebec, you've got Papa Bravo. Like, it's the double taxiway assignments, bro, that gets you, because you're transitioning from a Alpha November to a Alpha to a November to a Bravo to a Lima to a Bravo Lima. Like, it's insane. So again, I can't really say I understand how they made that mistake, given the gravity of the situation. It's your job to get that right, but we're all human. We all make mistakes, man. Absolutely. Pilots included. And pilots of major airlines included, but man, that could have been disastrous. Like, that's hundreds of lives, bro. Like, that 777, even if it was like 3/4 full, you're talking about what, 200 souls. Yeah, absolutely. And then again, I can't remember if it was a 73 or a or an Airbus, but whatever, another 150 at least. So you're talking well over 300 souls, man. That could have been a Tenerife, bro.
Oh man, that could have been
catastrophe. And get this, bro, it was Kavik there that day, in terms of like the weather conditions and stuff. Very oftentimes, especially in New York area, bro, you get those low visibility days. Yep. Can you imagine it was one of those days?
Oh,
Delta may not have seen that 777 in time. Well, oh man, bro, like this was crazy. Again, I haven't done further investigation to understand, who was at fault, or, obviously you got to check back the tapes and make sure they read back what they were supposed to read back, and the air traffic controller confirmed it accurately. But jeez, man, that could have been disastrous.
Yeah, it could have been all all the way bad. And again, shout out to the Delta crew who seen it, because it seemed like to me, I watched we'll post the link to the VAS, shout out to VAS Aviation for the info, the link, because it's actually like 4 minutes long, so it's pretty lengthy. But it seemed like they rejected the takeoff before, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, before ATC said reject.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So
they already were on it.
So shout out to them, man, for getting. I couldn't imagine, being a part of that crew and having to get yourself back together.
Yeah, and they were super calm.
Get these people
to their destination.
Yeah.
And y'all almost, I mean, yeah, it's yeah.
And they both were heading. They were both heading out of country.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Delta 1943 was headed to Dominican Republic with 145 packs.
Wow.
American 106, only 137 on that one.
Wow. Okay.
Man,
where were they going?
London.
Wow.
So he had plenty.
What a way to start a transcon.
Man, exactly.
Full of fuel.
Full of fuel.
Oh,
both planes.
Wow.
Oh my.
That would have been disastrous.
Man.
Oh yeah. I wonder though, gents, because it's been a while. Do we know if the ground radar is, if they're equipped with some sort of logic in the back end that can see like some sort of resolution avoidance, like on our TCAS systems on the aircraft? If they had something that see incursions like that?
I'd imagine that's how Kennedy saw it. Now, granted, the tower is up really, really high. They've got a great view of the entire airport, so maybe it was visually, but I'd imagine that was ground radar that caught that and gave that alert.
Yeah, one would assume, right? Yeah. Well, I was kind of curious on that, man. But again, shout out to the crews and,
absolutely.
On that one, and just something that us as private pilots need to be cognizant of, aware of as well. Is that there are a multitude of many JFK like situations at some of these airports, especially like the multi runway type or intersecting runways. With intersecting taxiways and things of that nature. So, and a lot of those areas aren't controlled. So let's just sprinkle that little bit of difficulty on top of the situation. So definitely something that we all need to maintain constant vigilance over, because it doesn't just like that,
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that was crazy, man. That was crazy.
But I don't remember it. Was that guy ever told to cross a runway?
I have it. The only part of the audio that I've been able to listen to so far, it's been real busy, man. Was ATC telling them to reject, dude saying I'm rejecting. And he's saying, I gave you the instruction to do XYZ, and he was like, well, this is what you told us, and we read it back, and he was like, well, we're gonna check the tapes. That's the last I heard. So I need to go and actually listen to see who was.
That'll be interesting if we ever hear that info.
Oh, it's gonna come. I'm sure there's no way.
Yeah, it's gonna be a preliminary
because a pilot would. Those guys flying international like that, they're not just going to cross a runway without being told that. Like, I don't know, man.
But they do it. They could have also read it back properly and still went the wrong way. That's easy too.
Yeah.
Shoot.
It'll be interesting how that one unfolds. I'm curious.
It could have been they were doing something during taxiing and wasn't,
it happens, man.
Properly. Again, one's supposed to be focused on the taxi, another one, both shouldn't be heads down at the same time or distracted at the same time. But who knows, man?
Who knows? Who knows, man?
So your point, though, Charlie, like these are experienced people because they were going into London. If they were going to Heathrow, that's another airport where them taxi instructions are insane. And say Europe in general, bro, their taxi instructions is just like out of this world. Like, you want to do what? Link 7 to Alpha Papa Kilo, hold short spot 3, then link 5, and it's crazy. But you would
insane.
assume, they were going to London, they're on their A game with that stuff. So to get that wrong at Kennedy is crazy. But also, like I just showed you guys, man, it's easy to screw up that intersection there, man, because there's a lot of different taxiway assignments in just that little area alone. It's freaking weird. They could have definitely made that a little bit more straightforward.
Even with the movie map technology that's
absolutely.
So yeah, it's insane. But Mike, to your point, man, I mean, we're all human, and I mean,
mistakes happen.
Mistakes happen, man, and they always happen. But just to pivot off of that for a minute, man, because that'll have a feller feeling some type of way for sure. And but
it wasn't my intention, man. Bringing that
awareness. No, it's these are things that I mean, if they're not learned from, lives are lost. So definitely something to take to heart. And I guess to kind of segue into another topic that that I definitely took to heart was I actually had the opportunity to watch the movie Devotion. Not sure if you guys had the opportunity to watch that one, and I think this one really kind of hit home because the one of the main characters is actually from my hometown of Harrisburg, Mississippi. And
he is from Mississippi.
Yeah, he's from Harrisburg, and they actually had a screening. That of course I was here, but they had a private screening there, and definitely an interesting movie. I'm not going to really get into specifics, to not spoil it for anyone, but I will say this, and my friends here will provide their thoughts as well, but I can't think of a hobby that has managed to transcend cultural differences to bring all of us together,
100%
as as brothers and sisters. So again, amazing movie, a very moving story, if you guys aren't familiar with it. And I think I watched it on I think it was and I know I'm gonna.
I watched it on Paramount.
Yeah, Paramount. That was it. Yeah, watched it on Paramount. So if you guys have an opportunity, definitely check it out. And I
saw it in the theater.
Well worth to watch. What do you guys think about it?
I think you nailed it,
Charlie. Go ahead, man. Because
I think he's spot on.
I want to say shout out.
I'm afraid I might give something out.
Shout out to Charlie, man, because I think he was the first out of us to watch it.
Yeah, I seen it the day it come out. Next day it came out.
And shed some light on. We're not going to get into all the other stuff we can get into on this podcast, but shout out to Charlie, man, for really shedding light as it relates to the importance of the movie and the message it was conveying, especially like Johnny just said. Because it's a true story, and all of the lives that it impacted and continues to impact. It was just remarkable. We watched some of these other similar, military aviation movies out there. Shout out to Top Gun. I've seen it like 5 times already.
Heck, you watched it in New York last week.
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it on the plane.
5 times, Mike.
Bro, I'm 5, bro. 5 in.
We got it on
I
Apple
love that
TV
freaking
now,
movie.
so.
I can't. I watched it twice in theaters. My mom was in town. She didn't see it, so we watched it at home. And then so it's 4. And then I watched it on the plane when I was going out to work last week because I watched a couple movies. It was a 6-hour flight, so I watched like 2 movies. Yeah, and I was like, hey, let me just throw on Top Gun for the rest of the flight. Anyway, I digress. So obviously we've got those movies, but like this movie here, man, like hits home.
It'll hit you a certain way.
Hits home. So you guys definitely check it out, especially for those of you that are history buffs or are very curious as it relates to the history of aviation in general, especially here in the United States, and sort of how it's transitioned through the years, and the lives that it's impacted of all race, religion, culture, whatever you want to name it. Great movie and really well done.
Absolutely. But yeah, guys, it's definitely been an interesting. We're not even out of January yet, so it's like, man, so much going on in the industry. Just so much going on in aviation in general. I think one more thing I wanted to hit on, flight sim related as well. Um, so I just want to know, when is Mike going to purchase this Arabesque Epic Victory for X-Plane 12?
What the what?
Hey, speaking of, didn't they just come out with a 42?
Yeah, they did.
I just thought about that.
Yeah, they did. I just happened to see this, the Epic.
Mike was supposed to have been getting that 62 today, but I
yeah, supposed to be picking that
he
up.
didn't
Man.
keep his
Bro,
end of the bargain.
I know, man. I just had to get back in here. Like Johnny been saying, man, just being gone during the week when you're traveling, bro, it just sucks because
not just
get back.
like always.
Outside of just life in general, right? Like we're talking first world problems here, right?
Yeah,
I don't know what to fly. But anyway, like just in general, like you come back to like 10 updates of aircrafts that you love, so you got to prioritize. So you got 2 days to figure it out, and then it's back out or back to 60-hour weeks. So
point made.
I'll pick it up, bro. I'll pick it up, but I got to get back. Tomorrow's gonna be a 2020 day. I've got to get in that Honda Jet, that PC-12, and that Vision Jet.
Yeah, which I flew the PC-12 today, man. It was
how was it?
Pretty decent, man. Once I
what did they update about it?
Man, to be honest with you, I didn't even read the change log. I know it ran. I didn't have time for that. It's full send, bro. But I noticed that the performance was a lot better for me.
Okay,
a lot better. So, again, as for now, I still, and this is just me, or probably folks are arguing me down, whatever, but I don't think turboprop still quite act right in 2020.
Really? Are you like the feel of it, or are you like monitoring the engine parameters? And stuff?
Both. More specifically, the Pratt & Whitney PT6.
Gotcha.
Having real world experience with PT6, it doesn't act like a PT6. So,
gotcha.
Like the way it transitions from the way the you transition from beta to reverse, and then because one of the really cool things about turboprops is the ability to modulate between forward and that beta pitch to control ground speed, to control your taxi speed, and it's really difficult to do.
That is true. I have observed that.
Versus like the TBM X-Plane 12. I mean, it's just you rarely touch the brakes.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. It's because they've modeled that there's some things that they need to tweak to better.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man, that thing just be speeding away, bro. And it's like you're just on riding those brakes, and that's obviously when you're taxiing the aircraft, there's no reason that you should have to do that.
Yeah, and I'll say, in my opinion, I think turboprops are probably one of the easiest to taxi because you got the ability to throw that thing in beta, and you're just coasting, and I mean, you rarely, if ever, have to use your brakes, so hopefully at some point, again, I don't know if that's a 2020 thing or a Coronado thing or whatnot, but hopefully they get that together. And speaking of turboprops, I know turboprops also has a soft spot, my man Charlie's heart as well.
Never been on one. I just like them.
Yeah, man. They're just they're just amazing machines.
The sounds.
See that? Yeah, Milviz, or I'm sorry, I keep holding on to the old names.
I do too.
Back in the day,
Blackbird, or
they're not Milviz anymore.
No, they're Blackbird Simulation.
Blackbird Simulation.
I thought we already had a Blackbird, but I guess not.
Huh.
But yeah, they're putting the ATR on hold indefinitely due to another ATR currently being worked on. So they just said, screw it, basically.
Yeah, basically what they said.
Yeah. So
don't let us down, Asobo.
Yeah. So hopefully that works out. And yeah, we shall see. We shall see. Yeah. But aside from that, guys, I mean, that's dang, that was an hour and a half already.
Yeah,
but,
crazy, bro.
We only gonna do about 30 minutes.
Yeah, man. It's just I knew it, man. I was like, guys, because might want to talk about devotion. I'm like, oh, good grief, that's 2 hours. 2 hours talking about that
Right there on that.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, we're gonna talk about the oh yeah, we did want to hit that. So Charlie, I see we're buying a new PC.
Oh man.
We're
looking. We're looking seriously.
Here we go.
Yeah. 6 months of beating it into the wife's head. She's like,
real quick.
It's Mike's fault. I blame
How's
him.
it my fault?
Because you got a new one. Nah, man, I've got to do something. These Sims are just killing my rig, and just like Mike, it's just time to do what we want to do. We've got to have the hardware to do it because it's not going to get any easier. It's not going to get any easier.
Bingo.
So, but yeah, I'm kind of looking at what Mike's got, something like a 13700 and 4080. But the problem is man, the cost of everything has gone up in like a month since I was looking, because I've been looking for months. I just keep up with the stuff. But it's the hardest part is juggling whether to build it myself or go pre-built like Mike. That's what I struggle with. Because I like tinkering, but at the same time, it'd be nice to just move this, set one, load it up, and go on. So
I just don't have the time nor the capacity for it, man.
That's it. And it's not easy, man. I mean, it's easy, but it's not easy. I mean, one loose wire and you've wrecked a motherboard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. Like
when you pull it out of the box from somebody else, it should be ready to go.
Yep. The other thing I thought about as well was like I was gonna
everything.
No, just in terms of like what I was gonna do, because I first saw it out and I was just like, I'm just gonna update my GPU. I'm gonna go get I think it was like a 38, because I don't know that the 4080 would have fit in
your case.
That's rig.
Man, them things
case probably not.
The thing is huge. I don't think it would have fit. So I was thinking again like the 3080 or something, or maybe even like the 2080 Ti. Just do a little, incremental step up. And I'm like, I would hate to spend even $500 on a relatively new, no, actually, a newer GPU, I should say,
right,
and still have the same issues.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if I'm gonna do this, I just need to do this right.
Or you do that and your CPU blow up or something.
Exactly.
Stupid,
Exactly. It's like, what's the point? I'm out here spending more money than if I was to just do it right to begin with.
Because it's hard to mix older components with new ones in my eyes, because they wasn't meant to work together.
That too. So
you know what I'm saying?
And I don't have
your
time
1080 and your 8700 were roughly the same time period, so the tech was the same.
Yep.
You threw
That's a good point.
4080 in with that 8700. That thing's going to be struggling to push the data to it.
See, I didn't even think of that. That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, and that's happened. That's happened. Happens all the time in the industry. Especially the way the culture is now. It's just like, everybody has to get the latest and greatest, and it's like me, with my 6700K buying a 4080. I mean, you're talking about the whole analogy with taking everything, taking a massive amount of data through a fire hose, right?
Exactly.
I mean, there's just my processor just doesn't have the cycles to handle that. So I mean, you're bottlenecking the crap out of it. So I mean, I think I think the direction you took, Mike, was probably the best. I mean, if you're even inkling on thinking of like, man, maybe I just need to go ahead and make that move, you're better off, especially with the time, the way it all worked out, and the price that you got that for.
Yeah.
Which is spot on, bro. Trust me. I'm looking hard.
Better
really
off and making
like I'm honestly considering getting the exact same PC you got because that price
really
cannot be touched, bro.
You know what's funny? Because I started even so when I realized I wasn't gonna do, just buy a GPU and be done with it. I was like, let me buy a pre-built, and I started with let me go look at a 2080 Ti, and I'm still within the range, the high end range. I'm like, I was like, all right, let me go up to a 3080 or a 3080 Ti. I kept going back and forth a lot. They were there. It was available.
Really?
It was available. The reason why I didn't start with the 4080 is because I feared they weren't available. I'm like, there's no way the 4080
is because everybody thinks it was overpriced, which
really?
Yeah, it kind of was. Yeah.
Following all because I follow like J2 Cents. I follow all the PC guys.
Is that what's going on? That's why I was it didn't.
The best performance for dollar,
right?
4080 was too high.
Got it.
Because you got to think that thing's only $200 less than the 3090 come out at.
3090.
Hold on, it's $200 less.
Because the 3090, I think, come out at like $1,500, and I think the 4080 is like $13.
But that's a newer card than the 4080s isn't newer than the 3090.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is.
So for it being less, that's pretty good, no?
The second tier card was almost the price of the top performer of last gen.
Oh, got it.
Because the 4090 is $2,000. Like you can't find them for less than
$2,000. Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't found them less than 2,300.
Got it.
Yeah. And if you can find them, and they're not scalped or
whatever. And that's the thing, I was telling Charlie about that. I was like, man, you really have to, we had this discussion. You really got to look at, because see, back in the day, maybe like, a few years back, you came out a little cheaper building your own or building it yourself. But now it's just like, it's negligible at this point, so it boils down to
by the time you factor your time to do it.
Exactly,
and waiting on the components. And
there you go.
Yeah.
Do you have time to devote to it, to take, because what will happen is you'll get your, or what has happened, you'll get all your parts. You're in such a hurry to get everything together, and
I screwed that one up the first time.
It happens, man. Bit pins, I've had friends of mine, especially because they're keys, so they're pretty easy, but if you put in there just a hair more force than it should, you can't bend the pin. So, if you don't have time to devote to do it and know that you can just take your time and do it, you're just better off getting a pre-built.
Yeah, there's no way.
None. Yeah,
man. Look how much trouble I had trying to find the slots to plug in my the drives from the other computer.
And when you think about
you guys on like damn near video chat to figure out it was on the freaking other side.
And that's totally cool, because when you think about it, it's like, either do that or potentially, because if you don't handle, motherboards just right, the ESD will get it. Electrostatic discharge. I've seen ESD kill $200-300 motherboards. So it's if you're not prepared to just be one and enjoy the process, you're better off getting a pre-built.
I agree with that.
Heck, I've thought about getting a pre. I was like, man, because am I gonna have time, the little time I get to, worry about building one, or should I just, what I'm saying? So, heck, I've been looking at it, and so, and guys out there, guys and gals, let us know what you think. Because we'll post this video as well. Let us know what you think. What would y'all do? What have you done? In regards to this, and but it's, I think right now at this point with the market the way it is, you can really kind of go either way, but I will say this, I have noticed lower tiered, and I guess it's kind of a bad way of putting it, but lower tiered components like CPU, especially like the 13th gen i5, is actually performing really well in 2020 if paired correctly with the motherboard, things like that. There's strong i5s out there pushing 40, 50 frames per second in 2020. You know, so which is good if you're looking to for that budget build. You can you can come up on i5s pretty pretty cheaply now. But I know, like, for example, my particular PC, I built it 7 years ago, and I still get granted I put a card in it, but I still get 35, depending on where I'm at, 35, 40 frames a second in 2020. But the reason why is when you put like higher tiered components in there, so if I were to do a build, it would be no less than the i7. And i7, super strong motherboard, like those components, that's like your foundation, right? So super strong CPU, strong motherboard, fast RAM, and just build from there. I mean, the way these video cards now are now, I really can't go wrong. I mean, I think you would have had a good experience with the 3080 as well. But if you can come up on a 4 series and be done with it for the price you like, send it.
Well, that's
man.
what it was, because I was finding so I was like, the 3080 builds was in my cart when I was getting ready to hit send. I was like, let me just look for a 4080.
Right.
I went and I'm like, yo, the 4080 builds that I was seeing were almost the same price as the 3080 builds that I had.
Yeah, man, that's
now
no brainer.
It's a no brainer.
Part of it was because like it was like an i9, because I got the i7 is what I have.
i7.
You got a 13.7,
yeah. So it was like i9s that I was seeing with the 3090s, but I'm like, it's the same price. I might as well.
Well, they were probably 12 9s.
Oh, probably 12.
They were probably the 12 gens.
Probably. So I'm like, I'm less concerned about the CPU. I'd rather get the latest, at least one of the latest graphic cards for the same price. So I'm like, I sent the 4080.
Yeah, and it's still a strong CPU. What you got? So
well, heck, that CPU's got eight more cores than mine.
Oh, really?
That's a 5800.
Yeah,
so
it's 8 strong.
cores.
I'm telling you, Mike, if you had messed around and bought a weak CPU paired with that 4080, you would have seen the difference.
I would have seen really.
You would balling at the crap out of it. Oh yeah, man. Wow. That thing will probably ran worse than what you got now.
Yeah, I guarantee it.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that.
So CPU is important, man.
Man, it's that's everything.
Well, especially
that's the conductor in like everything that happens in your PC.
Got it.
But what'll make it amazing is when these platforms are DX12.
Yo, they just need to optimize these, man. We wouldn't be having these issues,
bro.
You go to DX12, you'll utilize every core on that CPU.
Because that's just like Brother Charlie's PC. He can go on one of these, any other A+ game and get probably over 100 frames a second.
Yeah, when me and Mike play Halo, I'm at 100.
Yeah, like Lord help you in fights.
And my GPU's at like 40 degrees, like
chilling,
bro.
Literally chilling. It's like heat me up, daddy.
like the meme with John Travolta on Pulp Fiction.
Is that all you got?
I fire up 2020. It's like, man, trying to row a boat uphill.
They be churning, bro.
Man, that's just how the software's architecture is, man. Hopefully at some point, if the status quo remains the same, perhaps, down the road we may pivot to another engine, which would be awesome. But that's just kind of what we're dealing with. But I'm right there with you, Charlie. I'm, probably, old Betsy, she's been faithful, but it's about time for me to just let her, graze out in the pasture until she sees her maker. Right. So
I'm about to get me a gaming chair simulator. Play iRacing or something with this one. It should be.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be an
farm
awesome
sim
for that. Farm sim, PC building sim.
They really have those.
Steam.com.
Steam.com, bro. Straight up. Yeah, PC buildings. You can simulate doing something you don't want to do in real life.
Pressure washing when they need to be outside doing it.
Hey, low key, y'all. Low key. So, Steam sale, right? Man, don't knock it till you try it, guys. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't knock it till you try it.
You've had a couple of things.
Hey, man. Yeah, bro. It's been a few of them, man. It's like I picked up
Grass
this weird
cutting simulator. What
grass
was it?
cutting sim. Oh man, I think it was so boring, bro. Like,
you cut like 4 acres of grass with a 42-inch deck. I mean, it's like trying to throw a hot dog down a hallway. It just ain't working.
Just not working, bro. It was just like, yeah, dude, it was like 4 acres, and like you couldn't get a bigger deck. You had to finish that one to like be able to come up with the money to buy it. I'm like, this is boring. Like,
it will take me all day to mow this grass.
I'm like, where's the Scads? Where's the John Deeres, the Husqvarnas, man? Like, where are they? You know, and like, yeah, dude, I was like, yeah, this is not gonna work for me. So because it got really good reviews. So the reviewers,
it looks great.
The reviewers must have been people who like didn't cut grass.
Yeah, right, just don't run over Aunt Bertha's roses out there.
Yeah, man. Just, you know, I don't know, man. So yeah, it's on my Steam Deck shelf. You know, I wish I could gift it away because it's just sitting there. But you know, I've downloaded. There's another game. It sounds crazy, guys, but it's called Brotato. But it's like a 2D. Everybody's looking at me funny. Hey, again, don't knock it till you try it. But it's kind of like. It's like a roguelike. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that type of game, but almost like a Returnal type situation, but it's like 2D. And it's like you're like this little. I'll put it to you this way: it's a great time burner on the airplane. That's all I'm saying. And
fair enough.
You know, so yeah,
like Mrs. Pac-Man or something.
Yeah, something like that. Might look at me like I got horns growing out of the back of my head. Whatever, man. But no, it's been a couple tiles out there that have been kind of. I don't even know how we ended up in the weeds on this one, but
I don't either.
Yeah, you know, it happens in the CTP, but yeah, you know, that's pretty much been my Steam Deck library as of late. I'm sure it'll grow here shortly, but with the delay, I'm sure to incur next week with all the weather blowing through. But other than that, guys, man, what else y'all got?
Oh, I wanted to bring up. What was the issue you had, Mike, with 2020? Just so our viewers know.
What do you mean?
Didn't you have an activation issue?
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah.
Just so people, if they do upgrade,
man,
a heads up on this.
Good catch. So, like we've been talking about, I got a new PC, was reinstalling stuff. Obviously, going to reinstall 2020. Downloaded it, everything was good. I go to launch it. What was it at? I was trying to install. Yeah, it installed. It was on the launch. Man, I forgot the exact error. I should find that error so people know and throw it in the description. But essentially, the error was about, your account was in a very Microsoft description. I'll make it put it in layman's term. Your account is tied to another account or another hardware or device. And I'm like, oh man, I didn't realize that. So what I had to do after much research was go into your Microsoft account and deactivate your old hardware that had 2020 on it. Even after doing that didn't work. So I have to completely, and I'm glad I installed 2020 before I installed X-Plane. Because then I'm gonna have to reinstall X-Plane all over again. But what I did was the deactivation didn't work, so I had to reinstall Windows all over again with this new PC from scratch, while simultaneously going into the old computer and deactivating the 2020 that was installed there, and then doing the process all over again and making sure the Microsoft account had the old PC removed and reinstalled 2020 from scratch, and then X-Plane, and then it worked. So essentially, and I don't know, maybe this was somewhere that was, described upon the initial install of 2020. You can't have 2020 installed in more than one place because it creates an account conflict issue.
Which is weird to me because I actually installed 2020 on my gaming laptop.
With no issues?
With no issues. Because the only reason I did it was to put, what is it, FSTL traffic?
Oh, yeah.
I was just going to put that on my laptop, and if I was bored sitting there, whatever, I'd just fire it up, and I could sit there and watch the plane.
So you have 2 versions of 2020 installed on different PCs?
I did. I deleted it, but I didn't have any issues.
You fired up both at
yeah.
different point. That's
because
weird.
The main reason I uninstalled it is I was talking to Johnny, and because everything's on the cloud, I didn't want it because I'd have to run my settings really low on my gaming laptop to push it. And I didn't want to load up the rig here and all my settings be janky and jacked up because it was bringing in my laptop settings.
Got it. That makes
because it was the same account. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
But I don't know. But just a heads up, you can run into that.
Yeah, those of you that are installing a new rig, and it was in the forums, and then specifically in the FS 2020 forums where a few people had that. I'm like, man, that's so stupid, man. Typical Microsoft drama. I lost like 2 hours or more trying to figure that out.
Yeah. But I just want to bring it up.
All's well, though. My man is glitching over there, bro.
Nah, man. But too cool, man. Glad you're able to get that squared away. Magic Mike, you would have figured it out regardless, man. I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure. But anywho, guys, like I said, I guess for the long and the short of it is, when you go and you cop a brand new PC, just, public service announcement. Make
it's not
sure
gonna be
that
all gravy.
Exactly. Think you're going to be up in like 20 minutes.
No, man. It took me the whole entire weekend. So what happened was I wasn't expecting the rig to come till after I came back from my work trip, but it came that Saturday morning. And I was like, I got to get this thing installed now.
Got to.
And it took me from Saturday morning to Sunday evening to get everything going.
Wow.
But that's also me, though. Like, I know a lot of people who do it in increments. For me, I like to install almost everything that I had before and be done in one shot. Because I don't want to be doing it multiple times and be like, oh, I want to go fly somewhere. Oh, crap, I didn't install that scenery yet. Or I want to fly this plane. Oh, crap, I didn't install that plane yet. Or I want to fly this plane, but oh, crap, I didn't set up camera settings for it yet. I do all of that stuff as much as I can, at least up front, before I even take the first spin the aircraft when I reinstall stuff. So it's just a preference for me. So that's why it took me the entire weekend. But at least after the weekend, I was done. I knew when I came back, I could just fly. I don't have to worry about anything.
No, you can't, because you got to run live updater.
Got him. Jeez, it's a good thing. I was getting ready to turn the computer off when Johnny sent that this morning too, and I'm like, oh,
click.
Let me go grab that stick.
I hope it updated it because it was kind of quick.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Might need to run about 2 or 3 more times, fam, because that was way too quick. If it don't take about 2 or 3 minutes, then something's wrong.
Man,
it was about 2 minutes. It was about 2 minutes.
All right, you'll be all right then.
Man, that 13,700.
Yeah, that's probably what it is, man. That 9,700, wherever you got that 4 million, wherever it is,
4 million
nuclear power plant, man. It's probably 4 folks out there cold in their house, bro. That's a good thing. Sucking up all power, all that good power. Anywho, guys, man, that's enough shenanigans for me. Any parting thoughts from the crew?
Man, keep the blue side up. Read back all taxi instructions and runway crossing procedures. Advise on initial contact. You have information echo.
Spay neuter your animals.
No. Honestly, man, I think for our flight sim aviators out there, don't accept mediocrity. Hold these developers in high regard. Again, you've got your different tiers and levels of folks. I get it, but they only raise the bar as much as we allow them to, and the only way we're going to allow them to is to ensure that we're setting those expectations. Again, you're gonna pay for what you get. That's what it boils down to at the end of the day, man. But for the enthusiasts out there, I guess is what I'm sort of focusing this message to, or directing this message to, man. Like, don't accept mediocrity, man. Like, I'm not calling out, people specifically and folks specifically, because heck, I do it too, man. But like, you shouldn't have to buy an airplane and then go get all these mods to make it even work properly and be up to par, or at least close to up to par with some of these other aircrafts. Like, the days of that should be done with. The technology is there, the software is there. Like, that's ridiculous now. And then the other side of things, man, for your, real world aviators out there, man, just continue to be diligent, continue to stay current, proficient, I should say, rather, and live to see another day, man. How about you guys?
What you got, Charlie?
Oh, man, that's hard to follow. That was good, Mike. Man,
I just going on top of my head, bro.
No, man. All I got is just, folks, just love each other, take care of one another. And
absolutely.
We'll see you next time.
Absolutely. Well, everyone here in the CTP family pretty much hit all the nails on the proverbial head. So, I won't drag it out too much. But yeah, again, just you guys take care of yourselves and each other, and real world aviators out there, can continue to be students and continue to push yourselves to new heights, no pun intended. And for all of us simmers out there, just be patient with one another. Try to learn and understand one's differences and each other's positions, on different subjects and topics. And just all be one big happy family in a perfect world. But other than that, guys, we're gonna leave y'all to it. And you guys, again, make sure to check out our partners there over there at AFS. Definitely check them out. And till next time, guys, take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you.
See ya.
We'll see you.